Hello, 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 and welcome to our Contest Master training. I am your host for today, Yolonda Jay, or Yolanda Johnson by government standards, but people know me in Toastmasters as Yolanda Jay. I'm the program quality director for 2024-25, and I am excited to be here with you today. Oh, my computer is not cooperating. Hold on. All right. So I was in the middle of asking you all, uh, do you know what a contest master is? Do you know what a contest master is? You can jump off a mute or just drop it in the comments. Contest master, what do you think it is? Let's see. Stephanie, what do you think it is? I don't mind while inspiring.
Thank you. I think they help with coordinating the event, the contest.
Daniel, what do you think?
Lack of a better word, the MC for the event.
I like it. I like it. In the comments, I see Fran says they run the show. I love it. I love it. Well, for me, it's closer to what Daniel feels is it's the MC of the event. It's the Toastmaster of the day, if you will, for contests, for any kind of contest, no matter what the contest theme is, the contest master is going to run the show, as Fran would say. There's so many moving parts in a contest. And I want you to know that without the contest master, we would just be sitting there looking like what is going on. One thing that the contest master does that it is so valuable is the contest master sets the tone. The contest master, even as Toastmasters of the day, right in your meetings, that person controls the energy in the room. That person controls the flow of what is happening. That person gets you excited about what is to come and maybe even makes you laugh a few times. So, contest master. So, we've heard a few things throughout our October training blitz. One was contest chair. Now, that person would put the contest together. They actually select the venue, they manage the budget, they get all of the people in place and the key roles filled, but that contest master shows up on the day of. Well, we'll talk about what they do before the contest, but before on the day of, and really gets the audience involved in what is happening. All right. But the one thing that you should know if you are deciding to be a contest master is to breathe and relax. Because one thing is for certain, and two things are for sure. Most of your audience will not know when things happen that are not supposed to happen. So if you stay calm, they stay calm. If you have high energy, they have high energy. It's kind of a I hate to say this, but monkey see, monkey do for whatever, for lack of a better way to describe it. All right, here's some things that I have learned just by being an MC in my private life, a non-Toastmaster life. Again, we talked about the tone and the high energy, smooth transitions. So, even as Toastmaster of the day, which most of us can relate to, the transition of one act to the next inside of a meeting is very, very important to what maybe visitors even experience. Using humor is extremely helpful. If you have a little diatribe that you can use, is extremely helpful to fill in gaps. And if you engage with the audience, asking them for a round of applause or just getting them involved with maybe the tally sheet or anything like that, that you can do in your role if it doesn't take away. Both humor and audience engagement should not take away from the actual event. You can highlight the importance of the event. I feel like contest masters should definitely do their homework before they even get to where the day of the event. It's not a show up on the day of event type of position, so that you can have some talking points. Just most, to me, I would like it into when I do television productions, and we have the cue cards, that kind of thing would be super helpful as a contest master. Acknowledges the judges and organizers and stay on time. Just like any Toastmaster of the day, you want to make sure that the event is not dragging, right? Beyond your control. Whatever is not beyond your control, I should say. And we'll talk about that. And then create a sense of anticipation. Like, what is going to happen next? I'm on the edge of my seat. Who are we about to interview next? All of that is a tone that you could set. Here is the holy grail of contests. Every time we speak this week about contests, we're going to fall back on this specific document. This is, again, the holy grail of speech contests. This is the Toastmaster published speech contest rulebook. So when you don't know, you're not sure, go back to the rulebook. You'll know it's the right rulebook because they often look very similar. It's going to have the current, well, this one is not the current speech contest, but the prior year's World Championship of Public Speaking. Side note, if you were at our conference last year, you may have met Jocelyn. She was one of our keynote speakers for last year. And of course, the dead giveaway 24-25 is on the front there. All right, so here's, oh man, I meant to delete this one. Hold on. Here is where we, let's say, build our culture as District 44. If you have read the speech contest handbook, you may have noticed that contest master is not actually mentioned anywhere in the rule book. It is a culture of D44 to split up the task of the contest chair so that the contest chair can oversee the entire event and the contest master can master the actual functions of the contest. Okay, so you may not see, or you will not see, contest master mentioned in the rule book. It is a role that we have adopted to help the flow of the contest. But here are some things that you, as a contest master and the contest chair, can talk about who's doing what, because you're splitting up the contest chair's roles. Okay, so we know that the contest chair builds the contest and the contest master executes the contest. And so here's some things that we think that the contest master should do. Should have a briefing with all the contestants. We like the contest master, we being District 44, we like the contest master to get to know the contestants and really get engaged with them so that when they're interviewing later after the contest, after they speak, it's a natural, easy flow. So here's some things that you should talk about before the contest. I like to have a contest briefing well before the day of, but you can have a contest briefing before the actual event, like an hour or two before the event. Again, I like to have briefings well before, and then now that we're in Zoom land, you can come in person and say, okay, here's your speaking area, and here is where the timer light is. But I like to get those questions that may take a little bit longer out of the way prior to the meeting. So that is just kind of my way of doing contest master, but you could absolutely do it where your briefing is I would say 2 hours before the actual event. All right, so here's the agenda that you would need to go over, and remember to talk to your chair about taking over these duties. So when you speak to your contestants, not your contest, but your contestants, you want to talk about where the actual event is, the dates and the times that they should arrive, any kind of main instructions to make their arrival smoother, the timer's location in the room, even if you have a picture, if you're doing this by Zoom and the event is in person. Now, remember, clubs can have their speech contests online. So this is going to be flexible between that online presentation as well as in person. The speaking area is very, very important when you're in person. And so making sure each contestant is briefed on that. Any international specific instructions, any tall tale specific instructions, right? We know now that tall tales, because David Durier told us last week that tall tales has a different timing uh, mechanism than international speech, right? It's very much shorter. And so you want to be able to make sure that they know all of the different specific instructions for their contests. I would go because the contestants may be different and will very likely be different. You talk about one speech contest and then talk about the other speech contest. All right. The pronunciation of contestant names and even their speech titles, because sometimes that'll trick you up. I would definitely take the time to be able, because you have to say it more than once throughout the day, to make sure that you are enunciating and pronouncing the names correctly, even if you have to spell them phonetically. AV issues. I don't know. It's not really AV issues, but AV concerns or anything like that you can address during your briefing. The speaking order is why I made that bold. Those are two of my favorite things to make sure that they know the pronunciation of their name and then their speaking order, which is just random. I am super old school when I did my contest, so I drew names out of a hat, but you can also use a random organizer on an app or random numbers on a spin wheel or something like that to select your speaking order. And then the contestant action items, what do they need to do next? Mostly, if this is happening well before the event, then they need that profile and their eligibility items and all of those things that we'll talk about. All right. And then any other things that you need to share with the contestants, and then open up for Q&A. This is why I don't think it should happen the day of. I think you should just come together to hit some quick points the day of, but there are going to inevitably be a lot of questions and you don't want to get flustered before the event. Any questions on our contestant briefing agenda before we move on? Let's see what's in the chat. What depends on who the contest chair is, Rolanda? Let's talk about that. What point did I say that you were thinking about that?
Well, thankfully, the two different functions are separate. The contest chair is, to me, the person who is in charge, really, of the entire contest. And then we have the contest master who is on the front side of everything. Now, I remember a time when we attempted to be the contest chair and the contest master. And it was interesting that you could not be up front and be at the back at the same time.
And I think that's how we develop the contest master role.
Yes.
But I do want, because Chad and I really push reading the rule book. Read the rule book, read the rule book. So what I don't want is people to be like, where is this position? It was just like Rolanda said. It's hard to be in the background and the foreground at the same time. And it's overwhelming. And it's two different skill sets, really. The contest master is that, again, high energy, upfront, in your face, kind of humorous person that's keeping the flow. The contest chair is doing all the behind the scenes work and making sure that the contest itself is running smoothly. Functionaries are in their place. The judges have what they need, all of the things. And they do the before work, right? They do, and I want you to catch the replay. It's in the comments of the contest chair training. They do the location, the date, the time, like all of those things, the food, the budget. So it's two different skill sets. And if you could break it up, it's much more seamless, if you will, if you break it up. Good point, Rolanda. Thank you. And like we said, we want you to read the rule book, read the rule book, read the rule book. So I show this slide because we have created and curated a speech contest toolkit for you. So we're putting everything in one place for you. Screenshot that, drop it in the comments, district44.org/speech contest toolkit. It is going to have everything you need to execute your contests in excellence, whether you're the contest chair, the contest master, or even the chief judge. You're going to find what you need, and contestants, you're going to find what you need inside our speech contest toolkit. And I'm just making it plain again. Speech Contest Toolkit, district44.org/speech contest toolkit. So what is the contest master? So Yolonda hinted to this and got great segue into what do you do as contest master during the event? So we've had the briefing. Again, I suggest this before the actual day of events, and you guys just check in on the day of the event, but it could happen all in one day. But during the event, this is your checklist. This is also in your speech contest toolkit, so you don't have to screenshot. You just have to visit that link. You're going to welcome and greet and all the things that a Toastmaster of the day does, right? You're going to give us a contest overview, what our speaking order that we chose randomly during our briefing, and officially start the contest. One thing about officially starting a contest is then all the rules in the rule book start to apply. And so we want to make sure that we're staying in those confines. During the contest, we want to make sure our mics are working, right? And we like to make sure our mics are working in person as well. So I put 4 virtual contests where we say, you come off of mute and say, hello, contest master. But you can actually do that in person too, just to make sure that your lapel mic or your handheld mic or whatever you're using at that point is working properly. That is the proper way to do that in protocol. And then the contest master will introduce the contestant as just contestant number 1. What we want to make sure, and this will be on another slide, is that we're not adding extra commentary once the speech contest starts. We don't want to talk about the contests or the contestant, their club, who they are, anything. We keep it really, really, really professional and clean. And we just introduce them by saying, contestant number 1, Chad Gates. I can't think of a speech. Everything in excellence, Chad Gates. Thank God for something on my wall, right? And that's all we say. And then we move out the way to allow them their space to set and go, all right? Once they are finished, you have heard this before if you've been in a contest, we will now have 1 minute of silence while the judges complete their ballot. That is super important because we want the judges to have their space to concentrate. I think that is a space where people start talking, but that is not the appropriate time for conversation. It is for the judges to gather their thoughts and fill out their ballots. And you repeat that for all contestants. It could be 3, could be 4, could be 5, however many contestants are in your contest. Any questions so far before I keep on going? Great. That means you understand what I'm saying, right? All right. Here's some more that you would do actually during the contest. After the last contestant is finished and concluded, you will say, we will now have 1 minute of silence while the judges complete their ballots, followed by, and here's the key, an indefinite silence until the chief judge receives all the completed ballots. All right, so that's important. Again, I usually hear some rustling. People start to get up and go to the bathroom, but that is a moment, again, to give our judges their time to collect their thoughts and complete and sign. I'll say that before our judges training tomorrow, and sign their ballots. The chief judge will verbally announce that all ballots have been collected and it's time for you to shine. That is where you will fill in the gaps while we tally our votes with our interviews. All right. And so here's the flow of the contest. Introductions. We talked about the rules, the order, the speaking order. We did the first speaker all the way down to the last speaker, included our minute of silence. But this is the part where you're actually, I hate to say it, but entertaining the audience to get them through the counting of the ballots. Sometimes the counting of the ballots goes really, really fast, and sometimes there is a lag. So you will want to be able to pace yourself in a way that you move along, but not too fast, but don't go too slow that you're dragging it. It is a delicate balance, and it definitely takes someone who is meant to be in the front and hold that spotlight for that role. So here's something I want you to see, how you interview the contestants. So again, all of the speeches are done, the ballots are out of the room, it's being tallied, and you have your contestants in front of you. I left this from last year. It says interestingness wins. And we'll go over what that means, because here we look at the speech profile. This is what we get. Remember, this was an action item from our briefing that the contestants have to turn in. And how we get, oh, that was a question for you. How we get the interview questions at the end is from this profile sheet. I sigh very audibly because in the 19 years I've been a Toastmaster, we've asked these same 3 or 4 questions in every single contest. And we used to have 2 contest seasons. So I sigh because as program quality director, I'm going to ask for your help to help us do something different this year. I won't go into it now, but this is where you get your interview questions from. But if because you have gotten to know your contestants and you guys spark up an interesting topic, ditch the pre-worked questions and just talk about what's interesting in the moment. Just remember your time. All right. And remember, here's a pro tip. When you are interviewing, you ask the question and you leave the space for them to answer. You don't want to talk over them. You want to give them the space to respond, and you want to keep your face in that very excited and interested and engaging kind of posture. All right. Sometimes our contestants will give us a very brief answer. So it's very important to ask the question where it is an open-ended question, leaving room for them to venture off into their table topic. When you ask a yes or no question, you're going to get a yes or no answer. All right. How many questions you ask each contestant just depends on how many contestants you have. So at the district level, you might not want to ask 3 or 4 questions per contestant, but at the club level, you can ask a little bit longer. All right. So here are some things. We talked about the profile. Here are some things that I want you to help us do. Brainstorm with me. Drop it in the comments. What are some interesting questions we should add to our contestant profile? So we have, what club are you from? We always hear about that. What offices have you held? What's some notable accomplishments? Interests or hobbies? Here's the ones I always hear. What inspires you the most? And dun, 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 your favorite quote. Oh my gosh. So we need your help in building some more questions that we can ask. What would you like to hear from the speech contestant? I would love to hear how they prepared for this moment. What made them decide to be a contestant? Funny stories could come out of there because most people are vol inspired. And so that's a great question too. So if you have any questions that you would like to add to our contestant profile, please drop them in the chat and we'll gather those and you may hear them at your next contest. So you've heard the words, you've heard the message. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay, great. Thank you. You heard the word, you heard the questions, you heard what the contest master does. Now we're on our last contestant of interviewing and the judges have not come back yet. What can you do as a contest master if the judges are taking longer than expected? What are some things that you can do as a contest master if the judges are taking a little longer than expected? Ooh, I love the questions. Ooh, the questions are great. We're gonna grab those. Announce Rolanda. I think you peeked at my slides. I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm gonna go 2 slides up because you did it twice today. Delay assistance, announcements for your club, announcements for your area, announcements for the district. And so we will make sure that you guys all have announcement slides in the toolkit so that you can talk through each of we will have plenty to announce is and along with your club or your area. And so listen, go to the announcements. That was a great one. That was a great one. That is absolutely in the slides. Anything else you can do to prolong the time if the judges are taking a long time? Anything else? I'm going to read the questions that you guys decided to add to our contestant profile. Let's see. How did you select select the title of your speech is one. Why did you first join Toastmasters? Another one was, what is the most interesting food you have eaten? Oh, you're on a roll. If you could present to a brand new Toastmasters club, what would your presentation be about? Interesting. Messages for, oh, that's not from the profile, but that's how you can prolong messages from district leadership. Absolutely. So I love those. We're definitely going to grab those questions and add them to our speech toolkit because I really would love to shake it up this year. How has Toastmasters changed your life? I love that one too. Great ones, great ones. All right. So here are some other ways to cover delays. And I'm telling you, as contest master, delays will happen. I have not been a contest master with just a smooth transition of, from contest to, the judges come back really quickly. It's just haven't happened for me because I usually do the bigger contests, which are area, division, or district. So those are inevitably more contestants and just more things that happen. Things that happen in the background, which you'll learn tomorrow during the judges training, same time, same place tomorrow, will be things like maybe somebody went over time or under time. They got disqualified for maybe going, I won't call disqualifications, but they got disqualified for some other reason. And those things are what's happening in the background. And so those could be happening in background. So when you are contest mastering, you're prepared for those delays that may happen. It's great. So this was a great slide that our contest chair did for last year. How to cover delays. Up to 30 seconds, announce what's happening. People love to know. They're nosy anyway. Let them know what's happening, okay? Tell an anecdote. I'm not a good anecdote story. Hey, can you do one on the spot? Chad, can you do an anecdote on the spot?
An anecdote on the spot. Oh my
Yeah, go
God.
ahead. Table topics.
Exactly, right. So a couple college kids, they're lost in Minnesota. They're driving on a road and they pull up next to this old man. He's a Norwegian bachelor farmer. He's been a bachelor for 30 years. And they say to him, hey, can we take this road to get to Highway 92? And he says, I don't care. I don't care. That's more of a short joke than an anecdote, but it gets to the spirit of one way to pass the time.
And then the crowd goes, oh, what? So that's a great one. I'm not a good anecdote teller, but if I was doing contest master, I would look up some things to talk about. You could tell a brief story. I like some of the things in the chat, like, when I was first Toastmaster, or when I did this, or I was just walking down the street the other day, or when I was doing yoga. This reminds me of the time when I was, if that's about 1 minute, you could tell a brief story. If it gets a little bit longer and it's about a 3-minute time frame that you may need, we talked about this, talk about the announcements, upcoming district events, and an even longer story. I won't ask Chad to do that on the spot. And I shouldn't say often, very rarely does it take much longer than this, but you could actually just call a break if something is happening in the background with the judges and the functionaries, and they come and whisper to you, and that team should be working in concert so that the contest master does know what's going on. The contest master should always be informed through the contest chair or the chief judge what is happening. Mainly the chief judge is the one that's going to do that. And they could just take a break. Like, hey guys, we'll come back in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and let's meet right back here. People will love that, especially if you're in a contest with more than one area or more than one contest. So people love breaks. They love bio breaks. So it's not going to be a big deal. Just remember, do not start talking about contestants. That's not appropriate before the winners are announced or outside of the interview process. All right. Any questions for me? We have gotten to the end of our time together. Of course, I wanted to remind you a few times about our speech contest toolkit. I really, really, really want you to take advantage of the speech contest toolkit because the contest committee did a great job curating that specifically for you. And we are still tweaking, adding to it. But this is a great base for you to share. Let's see. A funny thing happened to me on the way to the contest. I love that one. That's a great anecdote. I should actually add that anecdote to the slides and share the slides with you guys just in case. I love that one. All right. Any questions? I don't see any questions. Chad's our contest master extraordinaire. He allowed me to do this training for you, but I would like to ask for any feedback if you have some, Chad.
Excuse me, Yolanda.
Yes.
This is Daniel. I had to put a question in earlier. Where do you
Okay.
get the form full with all the questions and to check eligibility?
Oh, we did answer in the chat. It says you can find it, and you guessed it, the speech contest toolkit.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. So the speech contest toolkit again is going to have something for the contest chair, for the contest master, for the functionaries and chief judge, and for the contestants. Okay. All in that one little. It's not a little file, actually. It's pretty hefty. All right, Chad, floor is yours if you have anything to add.
Thank you so much. I thought this was a brilliant presentation. Thank you, Yolanda. You did a great job. One of the things that I really enjoyed was a discussion about the front end MC role of the contest master and the back end organization planning role of the contest chair. You're right, those things have evolved over time. For the contest master, one of the reasons to participate in the contestant briefing is so that you can develop a rapport with your contestants, because once the show begins, it's just you and them. That's really what it's all about. And the more that you can put your contestants at ease, guess what? The better they give their speeches. And the better the speeches are, the more the audience enjoys it, the more everyone enjoys the contest, because they really are the stars of the show. If you're interested in being a contest master, doing it at the club level and then moving to area and then moving to division, this is an excellent progression, because one of the things that you're going to build as you build your skills as a contest master is hosting and MC, understanding how to be interesting, how to control the circus that's happening behind the scenes and cover up for that. And you're going to build some really, really good hosting skills and MC skills that you can use not only in the contest, but also in other, scenarios outside of Toastmasters. So this is a wonderful learning opportunity if you want to step in and give it a shot. It's a great structured way to learn how to be a host.
I love it. Philip, Stephanie, Melissa. Stephanie, is this your first contest season, or have you been in a contest season already?
So I attended contests last year, the tail end of last year. I was very intrigued and inspired, but this is my first time actively participating on the team, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love contests. I will say our international, how do you say it? Our World Championship of Public Speaking. This has nothing to do with Contest Master, but she last year, not this year, last year had only been a Toastmaster for 2 years before she ran up all the way to the international level. So you just never know what happens at the club level. I mean, she had to start at the club level, right? She had to start at the club level in order to get to the international level. 2 years as a Toastmaster. And she's the 2023 World Championship of Public Speaking. I love that story. I love that story. Any other questions? Paula, Melissa. Hey, Lady Lee. And welcome to our PRM. I did not see you join. Special Brooks.
Hi there. How are you, love?
I'm great. Do you have a question?
I don't.
You
I'm
good?
good.
All right. Well, that means I've done my job. Affion.
Hi, everyone. I didn't have a question, just a comment. Thank you so much for a really thorough, comprehensive, and energetic presentation. I feel like everyone is motivated now to be a contest master. The only thing I would share is absolutely just be mindful of how important it is for two different people to be contest master and contest chair. You need someone to run the show and someone to be behind the scenes making it all work. Those would be my final statements.
I like it. I think that is just absolutely where it evolved from, was that need to split the role. So again, you won't see it in the rule book. It is a culture that we've created to make hosting contests easier for you. And so all of the checklists that you need, all of the briefing agendas are going to be where? In the speech.
And the
toolkit. I won't belabor the point. If you guys got the message, I will let you go. But if you have anything that you need, you can always reach me at PQD, or you can go contest committee. How about that? Contest committee at D44toastmasters.org. That was funny, actually. I actually need to play that on loop. I think I may cut that. So you may hear your voice or likeness when I play that again. It's in the toolkit. I love that. All right, guys. We appreciate you. We are here tomorrow at 7 p.m. with the Fran Ellis, doing all things judging and showing you how to judge with integrity, as well as showing you what may be different in Tall Tales contest this year. So we will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Join us or online, right? We are also showing all the replays. Chad's premiered today with Contest Chair training. It premiered today on YouTube. So definitely check us out on District 44 Toastmasters on YouTube for all the replays as well. Good night, guys. See you next time. Hope to see you tomorrow, 7 p.m.